there must have been some sort of changes where people have been utilizing him way too much on his efficiency to clear out waves, clear out jungles, and just really get themselves overpowered. So yeah, you can also follow us back on our socials as well. Mine's ContraCast on Facebook, or even Insta. You can find me at Contra. Of course, you can do some self-promotion too.
Oh yeah, you can find me on any social media at the Fatal 5-Way or at Fatal 5-Way for Twitter and IG. And now, looking at the rest of the bands, it's going to be Natalia coming out from Qualifier. It looks like a lot of Indonesians give a lot of respect to Natalia, even though we have seen before that people sometimes just let it through and play around it rather than having to worry about it. Team SMG coming in with their final ban.
Yeah, I mean, if they do ban out the Natalia, usually it's to force out maybe the opponents to consider an even higher priority target. Like, you know, we talked about Ling, we talked about marksman like Claude. So they are definitely choosing the right picks, as we are seeing a pretty much a strong start coming from Aura Fire. They want to set a blaze. Everything must be in flames, as we see Van Strong actually secures that one for the first pick. But what do we have here? It seems like another Esmeralda will come into the picture, which I think is pretty much decent to go against the current things that we do see right now.
I don't know. I feel like both Esmeralda as well as like Atlas of all people, yes, they do bring great utility. However, engaging is going to be a lot tougher than people would imagine, especially with a Valir on the enemy side. If it becomes a full 5v5 fight, and if Valir knows exactly where these engagements are coming from, they're never going to get a chance to really get into the middle of the team, you know? So I think Aura Fire has that on lock as long as they play the game correctly. They're hovering over both Zilong as well as Uranus. I doubt the Zilong is going to be it's going to be Kufra as well as Uranus.
Things are looking pretty tanky for the side of Aura Fire. They have yet to actually show their trump card, so that's a very safe way to go about. But to perhaps try to challenge that impenetrable wall for Uranus, they are looking to melt things down like butter with Camus coming to play. So far, very interesting sort of team fight scenario if you really look at, you know, this current tree aside. If they ever do clash, like, yeah, I'm looking at extended fights, perhaps, for some of these guys.
Yeah, and if you guys want to join us on our draft opinions, or maybe you disagree, or maybe you just want to be part of things, come on over at the mpl.mysg.official on our Instagram, and as well as at mplmysg at Facebook as well, to give some of your thoughts. Maybe we'll check it out, maybe we won't. At least you have an opportunity to discuss with a bunch of like-minded people. But coming into the second part of the picks and bans, Team SMG will have their options, and my guess is that they're looking to start banning out like the important stuff, you know, the mages, the marksmen, and yes, Kimmy gets cut out of the chopping block. Just no Kimmy. We don't want none of that.
Yeah, Kimmy hasn't been all too popular, but it's still very much a viable option. So call it what you want, the mage and the marksman, it's been discussed over and over again. Like, it's still very annoying to deal with, especially for the likes of maybe an Atlas to catch up. So you just want to instantly dive right in, catch everyone, and just hoping that your teammates can just clear things out. But if you have something that has pretty much long-range pokes, yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough. But Kagura's going to be coming in for SMG. And that Farsa ban was rather interesting, which kind of forced them into this sort of option for SMG.
Yeah, I like the Farsa and Kimmy bans only because they are the two heroes that allow you to break away from the stalemate. They can shoot you from the range. They can make sure that if you get in a siege situation, you can chunk your opponent down to about half HP before anything else. Aura Fire taking away the Boxia as a counter pick, as the natural counter pick to the Uranus as we saw in the previous game, just denying Team SMG the options to deal with this side laner who basically just doesn't care who he's fighting with, and he's expected to fight this downwards, but just in case he doesn't, he's absolutely fine with whoever else.
And now I'm looking at this Roger right here, which honestly isn't too bad as a tank shredder in the late game, but you know, early game, pretty much some challenges for the side of this sort of pickup that they're going with. But hey, the Indonesian meta is relatively familiar with, you know, Roger in and out, so they roughly know what exactly to expect. And I would say things are looking pretty balanced, but Qualifier here, the slight advantage I'm looking at is that carry, which can actually be very strong from the mid-game onwards.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I do think Aura has a little bit of an edge if their tools are utilized properly. Team SMG has a lot more work when it comes to having to deal with Aura's lineup. They're going to have to get a little bit creative with the way they engage in a lot of fights. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Can Team SMG find the cracks within Aura's lineup? Or Aura, they're probably going to get up on top if Team SMG can't even find just even a chisel to break open these cracks.
Yep, it's time for us to actually find out who will be the first one that might just crack under pressure here between Qualifier versus Team SMG. Of course, throw in your votes. Of course, all your votes matter, and of course, if you guys are in the app, I believe the esports section does include that as well. Maybe you might just be able to actually get yourself some goodies, and I can't get over how beautiful they just made the Land of Dawn look. Every time we start off our match, we were already looking at, oh, some damage output over the side of Mali. This might just be a first blood going in favor of the side of Qualifier.
Way too quick, way too fast. They weren't expecting him, and now this is super unfortunate. He does respawn straight away, but he will lose that first wave, which is, I mean, Esmeralda can hold it for as long as possible, and it looks like Atlas just reached there in time for the last 2 minions, so he's not going to be super far behind, but again, he is going to be behind, and Aura has already first blood onto, of all people, Vans as well, so great catch there from the side of Aura.
Yeah, and this is definitely going to be them getting a little bit of that sort of hit start, but, you know, it shouldn't be too much of an issue for Mali to bounce back up to the radar. Von Strong just soaking a little damage, but Mali might just get punished for the second time coming! Now, that's definitely going to be a big blow. Well, I'm taking my words all the way back.
Yep, and it looks like they can't really deal with the Valir as of right now. They really are disrespecting Valir's damage as well in the early game, on top of the fact that he has Impure Rage, so every dot, every tick of damage over time, or otherwise known as dot, it just gets more and more effective.
Yeah, and in regards to that, we're looking at 2 straight kills in the hands of Vance. This is going to be very, very crucial. Like, they got to find a way to stop all these sort of small hiccups that they've been committing, and now we're looking at something here being set up by SMG at the top.
Yeah, it's not looking too good because Thamos didn't respond as well, so this is going to be a 4v3 situation that they absolutely cannot win once the Tyrant starts running in front. Bonesy is forced to run away. He already has the ultimate. Vance unable to secure the kill, but now Smooth, who's got the biggest shield in the world, but no damage, can't seem to clean this up, and it's back to just farming here until Aura decides to make a move.
Look at how clean Aura is playing every single time Mali walks to lane. He even has his flicker up, and he can't even seem to be able to actually pop it. And that's my concern to me. Like, this is the third time coming. It's no longer a mistake. It's a habit that we're talking about. But here comes the catch.
Yep, and this is really, really good chat. Mal just goes down straight away. Mali just unable to make a move, and he's just stepping up too far every single time he thinks he's out of the range of Von Strong. He just gets punished again, and here we go. Aura just rotating towards the bottom side. They're going to go for a full-on dive for Neo. Neo gets clipped to the tower with the Tyrant's Rage. That's going to help secure that kill because Trust is so tanky as they trade aggro from that tower. Beautiful tower dive coming in from Qualifier. They are just stepping their foot on the gas.
Yeah, they're playing a perfect game so far, and we're looking at Zed here, catching over the side of Smooth. Strong's going to be joining from the back, so they are on the lookout for this Valir that has been causing them so much issues. They are trying to actually secure the top side turret, and of course, they will still get the first blood tower over to the bottom side. Phoenix tries to actually go for the catch, but they will still finish off with a little bit more gold to spare. But Mali, now he will stay all the way towards the back line, already learning his lesson already after being taken out for 4 times in a row. But here comes a little bit of call by the corners of the jungle. Trust is a little bit overextended, but Neo could just hold a little bit longer right there. one more turret bites the dust.
A great play coming in from Team SMG despite them being behind. Oh no, Bonesy, don't lose this 1v1. Ah, looks like he did. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get any healing off from his Feast of Blood because of Boxia's ultimate and just his natural passive is just completely negating it, making it tough. So he has to be more aware of that. But yeah, Team SMG, despite being down, they were willing to try and go for a tower pushed up on the top lane. And Qualifier replied with a very, very intelligent move, pushing down into mid lane and cutting off rotational pass for Team SMG.
I feel like right now they're so far behind they cannot even go anywhere near this drag, this sort of the turtle that's currently in place. And Van Strong has been on the lookout in case if Atlas is going to be passing by, hey, we're just going to be striking it once again. So yeah, what can they really do from this point? Like they really need to get Neo as well as Mali. I mean, not Mali. I think he's way too far behind right now. Sonic's probably going to be looking to find a leeway or something to get themselves back on track.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem here, because like now that Mali is a little bit far behind, it's going to be harder for him to look for these harder engage. And now Qualifier has cut the map into two members down on the bottom side to try and stop Aura Trust here, but they can't seem to because of how Uranus works, and the rest of the team is just rotating, looking for any picks whatsoever. Qualifier isn't looking for objectives right now. They're just making sure that they can control the map so that Team SMG is always within their sights and they can't make a play. They're just suffocating them.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we're looking at 7 kills as well as 16k in the span of 5 minutes and a half. Seems like Indonesia wants to break all the records that they can break today.
Absolutely, and with reason as well. They're going to continue pushing down, going to potentially hurt Bonesy quite a bit. It's a little hard to see what's going on here, but for the rest of the team, they're slowly pushing back, and they got trying to get that turret as quickly as possible. What a game this has become.
And seems to be that we do have pretty much a little bit of a freeze. I hope that we can actually get things sorted up. And of course, we do hope that things will run pretty much smoothly. Yep. And as for smooth, right over the bottom side, they're getting flushed all the way towards the back end.
You can see that Trust is pulling a lot of attention towards himself, bringing 2 members down onto him. He just walks away just to ensure that he survives while the rest of the team is playing the map. So they've split themselves 4-1, which is really good in Aura's position because they are significantly ahead in this game. 7 minutes, 8k gold, like yikes, that is a tough battle.
Yeah, of course, all seems to be pretty much crystal clear now. Of course, sorry if it's any sort of hiccups from the table. But then again, okay, so back to where we started off. Now, 7 minutes and 30 seconds already of the game. Team SMG so far has only managed 1 kill, and now there's going to be a 2-way collapse over the mid as well as bottom lane. And they really have to give one up. Phoenix all walking in towards the enemy side as Trust definitely have no trust issues.
And they're already engaging Rhythm, already under the crystal itself. This might actually be a pull. They find 2. Phoenix are able to flicker on out of there. Can they pick up 1? Yes, Atlas is going to be the first one to hit the dust. Valir next to be on the chopping block. So now they can actually clear out these waves without getting pushed backwards. They have to clear it as soon as possible here. It's not looking too good. 2 siege turrets as they look to push for the end. And I think Aura honestly should look to finish this off. Roger comes in. That's a huge mistake from Team SMG as the next wave pushes in, and they don't have enough members to defend it. Atlas is back. Bonesy is coming in 4 more seconds. Aura had their opportunity, but it looks like they want to beef up their KDA a little bit more instead of ending this game.
Oh yeah, they definitely want to clean up the entirety of the base.
Oh, look at Trust. He's taunting him. He's like, come get me, come get me. You want some of this? You want some of this?
Yeah, no way they can break down Uranus as Phoenix goes in and just takes out all the sort of members of the Team SMG, and this is game 1 in favor of Qualifier.
Yeah, Qualifier looking on fire almost.